Dan, I would like to start today's episode of the Wood Hounds Podcast a little different than what we normally do.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm always up for change. Sounds good. Let's do it.
I'm up for change too, because that's all I have in my pockets these days is just change. Yeah. No, Dan, I want to start today's episode with something that I am just very good at, something in my wheelhouse.
Complaining?
You've gotten to know me pretty well, I see, huh? I only complain about the weather.
Or things you don't like, or things that go wrong, or your trucks.
Broken windshields. Yeah. No, I want to start today's episode about math. I love math. It's something I'm great at.
I do not like math, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you a simple mathematic equation. All right. What is 200 minus 4?
196.
Okay. So the answer is 196.
That would be the answer, yes.
Good job, Dan.
All right. And what do I win? Or what is the relevance of this?
What is the relevance of 196?
I think I know. Yeah.
That is 196 episodes after we reached our 4-episode goal of the Wood Hounds Podcast.
Yes. Can you believe it?
Which means what, Dan? What milestone did we hit?
We hit the 200th episode.
The 200th episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Jeez. Whew.
Who would have thunk it?
Kind of crazy.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so we started our podcast on February 22nd, 2022. 2/22/22. And we had a modest goal of 4 episodes, and which I felt would justify buying this expensive microphone.
Yeah.
And then here we are.
196 episodes after hitting the goal.
Yeah.
200 episodes. And I don't know, how many more do you think we have in it for the Wood Hounds? Since we started on 2/22/22, maybe we just go to 222.
222 episodes.
22 more to go. The countdown begins.
And that was a TV show I used to watch when I was a little kid, Room 222.
Never heard of it.
Well, it's on this device called a television. That's why you had never heard of it, Dan.
Is that Ohio Public Broadcast or something?
No, it was a nationally syndicated show. It was a high school, about the life and times of high school students in the 70s.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. So I was thinking, Dan, what is in the future for the Wood Hounds Podcast? So I just know, and we had talked about this in the past, about how our YouTube experiences, our social media presence will end. Would it be in a tremendous crash of flame and smoke, or would it just slowly fade away? For me, it had always been question number 1, is it fun? And I can just speak for myself, but I think I know what your answer is too. But I have fun recording the Wood Hounds Podcast.
Yes, I do as well. I enjoy it, and I think that's one thing maybe our listeners have kind of picked up on, because I know I've received, or I've seen comments where, it's starting to be like firewood has always been our theme, but our personalities, I think we've been able to intermix into the content to make it, I don't know, entertaining, and, people want to come back and hear what we have on our minds and what's going on.
Yeah. I recall it was in the planning stages of this, we were thinking, what in the heck could you do to talk about firewood? And we kind of felt that it would be like two people stacking wood and just hanging out and shooting the breeze about whatever comes to mind. Sometimes it's firewood related, sometimes it's not. And whatever it is, as long as we're together and enjoying ourselves, it doesn't matter.
Yes. That's I always find that, like, when I listen to, and this is very rarely, other podcasts who are I mean, you can tell when a someone is trying to be informative or entertaining. And I prefer the entertainment value over just being lectured or taught, or like, a dry, mellow tone voice just telling you about information. It's like something that, I don't know, I don't enjoy that. So I'm glad we
Yes.
haven't gone down that road.
We do a lot of voice inflections, Dan, when we
Yes,
do our
we do.
podcast.
But you know what I mean?
Well,
It's one of those things that there's different types of podcasts out there. And I think we've been able to take something like you said, firewood, where we do intermix topics of discussion, just like two guys stacking wood would
yeah,
do.
yeah. I find it enjoyable. I was just doing a mental list in my head about some of just random stuff that we've talked about in the history of the Wood Hounds podcast. Recently we had talked about steel houses.
Yep.
That I'm still waiting on that picture, by the way. We talked about World War II, my hero Sophie Scholl. We talked about your problems with your roadside stand. We've talked about truck problems and broken parts and mud and snow and wind and carports. It's just been a nice wide variety of stuff.
It sure has. And there's always that underlying theme, and whether or not people are able to pick up on it, it's there. Like, we're always circling back to like a topic of the episode. Like in this episode, for example, talking about how, things are going and intermixing things and the good and the bad. Like,
Yeah.
you'll see in the end, like, we do circle it back around, and there's usually somewhat of a point to things.
Yeah, I know. Remember, we get some comments. They show up like on the Facebook, because we post all of our episodes on YouTube. I mean, also,
Yep.
and you get the occasional. I think we were talking about plumbing the one day, residential plumbing matters, and someone were saying like, "Stay on topic." I was like, "Well, you don't know us very well, because there usually is no topic."
Right. We just go. But we do have a general idea, and I think that's what makes it, again, more entertaining than informative. But there is information in the content.
Yeah. I think opinions expressly stated are our own, and I mean, our opinions probably don't matter more than anyone else, but it's just fun as a conversation starter, I guess.
Right. And that's one of the big rules with social media in general is, who are you creating the content for?
Yeah.
In the end, it's for yourself. Like, your social media is you, what
Yeah.
you want it to be.
Or who the heck are you?
Yeah.
I think I answer that question a lot. I stand behind this. I've said this 100 times. I am no one special. If you don't believe me, ask my wife, who adores me, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't ever consider myself anything where, I got like some tremendous grasp on the industry. I just see things my way, and I just go with that. That's all I know. Running a business and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you're always going to have those people that you can set out with the intention of showing A, and everyone's going to see B. and they're going to let you know. Like, it's
Yeah.
always that contradiction, and you can't please everyone all the time. So you just do what you do, and people will see one thing, people will see another thing.
And that is when you're first starting out, you really don't know what you're doing. And the people who watch and comment have much more experience at it than you do, probably. And I still recall getting comments early on, like, you're doing this wrong. You shouldn't be saying these kind of things. And like, remember when shorts were becoming a popular thing on YouTube? There's a group of people out there that were resistant to short form videos, and they're threatening you with unfollowing and stuff. And it takes you a while before you just say, so what? I'm doing shorts, and just deal with it. If you don't like it, don't watch them.
Right. I'm doing my thing. This is what I'm going to do. And again, it gets back to that whole, your social media is yours. You can do what you want with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I am who I am. That's like with my business advice too. It runs counter to a lot of established ways of doing things, but that's just the way I am. And some people appreciate that fresh kind of advice. I had done a recent video, and it's a recurring theme that I have, but it only comes out of me when I feel like I got to stick up for the industry, because unless you don't listen and watch a lot of social media, there is a group out there, or this belief in our industry about stay in line, do it the way everyone else does it, and then complain that you can't make money doing it, and discourage other people from getting into it. And I believe the exact opposite. I think that this can be a very highly profitable industry, and there's nothing stopping you except yourself, and you shouldn't even listen to any advice from anyone. Just go.
Don't listen to advice from anyone.
Yeah.
While I'm giving you advice.
I know, that's what I had brought up, the hypocritical nature of this, is I'm literally giving you advice to not take other people's advice. Yeah. Yeah, but that's just my opinions and stuff, and I believe it, and I'm going to say it. Well, guess what? It may or may not work for you, but I get comments and emails and stuff, and people appreciate that, because it's scary to take that first step, especially when there's a bunch of people out there telling you to don't do it, which I find ironic, but whatever. And it's social media. It's my view on things, and it's just my view.
And when you have done social media for however many years now that I've done it, you can start seeing and recognizing trends and things that when you capture something on with your footage, you're like, wait a minute, I have to put this out there because I know the response it's going to get. You can start seeing things, and then that's where you can kind of, a lot of people will edit and throw away and not publish things that would really make a good little video.
Yeah. And this is where we need to shift gears for this episode, because this is where I am just a simple guy from Ohio that accidentally got started in social media, YouTube videos. And this is where I learned something important and productive from you in social media. And it's, you have this uncanny ability of triggering people. And, at the end of the day, it's not to be mean spirited or anything. It's just to get extra views. And I applied one of your techniques to a recent video that I put up on Facebook, and it worked.
The phrase is, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah. We've talked about this before. When you're splitting a log, and you're just wanting to show like a 30-second video of you splitting a log. Well, that gets some people upset, because they'll say, oh, big deal. That's an easy log to split. Oh, you're just splitting it with a single knife. Oh, you should try Australian double kryptonite Schwarzenegger wood. That stuff is, So,
yep.
Okay. So I thought I had this really ugly round of wood. It had like 10 knots on it, a big branch that was cut off of it. It was it would have been the king of the ugly logs. All of the ugly logs in town would look up to this one. And I thought, I'm going to do a video splitting it. And then I was going to title it Splitting an Ugly Tough Log. But no, I thought of my good friend Dan from Back 40 Firewood, and I titled it Easy Splitting. And then like 22 million views later and like 200,000 comments later,
people were
I let
people
Dan
were
know
still
that
telling
it
you the
works.
same thing.
It worked, man. And the funny thing is I was getting all these comments that I shouldn't be, why don't you split some wood that, looks nice after it's split?
Yeah. Just the opposite.
The opposite. Yeah. But had I titled it Splitting a Tough Log, it would have gotten no views. It's all in the act of triggering people, Dan. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome. It's one of the uncanny, I guess, talents I have. When I see something, I can now know exactly like the response is going to probably get. And it's the thing is that a lot of people, that's what they enjoy, pointing out something that's either wrong or that they would do different.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who create content don't want that feedback. They only want the positive feedback. Where if you can learn that, hey, all feedback is valuable. And the negative feedback tends to be more valuable.
Yeah. The challenge, it is still a challenge though. I'm getting better at it. You want to respond to some of these turkeys. How dare you say that? And anymore, I just tend to grin at it and just move on. I say, thank you, Dan. You've done this to me. But you had a recent video too, where you went into full trigger mode.
And it was, again, one of these situations where originally I didn't even think of it. When I saw it happen, I was like, oh yeah, that's going to be a clip. Like that's going to be a reel. That's, and my wife was out. We were picking up rounds. So we're just throwing rounds into the utility bucket on my tractor, which is a 72-inch utility bucket. It's huge. And the thing I love about this bucket is you don't have to stack the wood in it to get a lot of wood, to carry a lot.
Yeah.
You can just throw the rounds in and go. So we're throwing rounds in, and Amanda tosses a round from a ways back. It hits in the bucket, pauses for a second or two, and then rolls back out.
Oh no.
Yeah. Tragedy. How dare she not stack that round in the bucket?
Well, Dan, she had to touch it a second time, and that's another problem.
Yes. So I immediately thought in my mind, that's going to be a reel. And sure enough, I put together, it was 15 seconds, but oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The response of, I need to stack the wood in there. You're not doing it right. Tilt the bucket back. They won't roll out. And it was just amazing.
The thing is, if you were to stack it neatly to get maximum logs in there, your tractor wouldn't be able to pick it up.
Right. That's the other reason why I don't stack them in.
So why bother stacking it, right?
But it's just the whole nature of people looking at a situation, and there were, I don't know, 9 or 10 other rounds that were in the bucket that were thrown in that didn't fall out, but that one round that falls out.
Yeah.
That's what everyone focused on, was the one round that fell out, not the other 10 that were in fine.
Uh-huh. When I was doing my splitting video with that ugly round, there were, a couple attempts where it couldn't split it because I was trying to go right through the butt end of this knot. It was just too tough. So I just, pulled it back down and readjusted it and then got it to split. Oh my gosh. Which that only meant one thing, that the Easton made axis was no good. It's a junk machine, according to everyone. It's like, gosh, but if this thing is junk, I want to see what really junk is. Gosh.
Yeah. And didn't you also lay it on its side? Like you split it from the side of the round, right?
I split it from the side because the dummy who cut it, it was too long to split. It was longer than the
Oh,
splitting chamber, so I just
yep,
laid it on its side, which is something that happens all the time. And just sometimes when you're cutting up bad sections of logs, you leave them long so you don't have to cut it a second time. It's going to my woodshed.
yep.
And yeah, that's what I did. I had it laying on its side and just split it like that. And oh my gosh, I was getting lectured to where I shouldn't have split it laying on its side. I told him because it won't work standing up. And then the one guy said, "You are if this is how you're planning on selling your log splitters, yada yada yada." And I replied, "I don't sell these."
Yeah, it's a fun and interesting world where, again, like in that situation, you only had one choice. Like if you were just in your wood yard, no cameras on, you would have done that either way. Like that was the
Yeah,
way to get it done.
yeah,
And so you do what you have to do.
right.
It's just that I know a lot of people would have looked at that and said, "Oh my gosh, people might look at this video and say that I put the wood in there wrong, so I'm not going to publish it." But
Yeah.
you've learned
It's
now, publish it. Put it out
If
there.
you have a log splitter, you have split crazy pieces of wood. Big
Yes.
deal. And I just found it funny because I get criticized all the time because I only split easy straight grain logs. It's because I buy my logs and that's how they come to me. And I finally find a log that's a brutal piece and it's still not good enough for anyone. I shouldn't be splitting it.
Nope. Yep.
Yeah.
You should shut her down. You need
Yeah.
to do something else. What are you doing?
Yes. I should have just turned off the log splitter and came home and recorded another episode of the Wood Hounds Podcast,
That's right. Yeah.
episode 200.
200.
Who would have thunk it, Dan?
Yeah. Jeez. Again, it's been a wild ride, and like we kind of mentioned in the beginning about, you were talking about like, we don't really change things. It's kind of like two guys talking around the woodpile. Like this would have been a conversation. We
Yeah.
just talk about whether the topic was social media or just something that happened with like your friends. This is again that little underlying theme that kind of carries throughout our episodes.
Yeah. And I
You know,
think that's what I find so enjoyable about this. It is almost like splitting that ugly piece of wood. It's something that you would have done otherwise.
yes,
And me and you, we have like a phone conversation about once a week. And it's just mindless banter that goes in and out of firewood related content, um, minus your potty mouth, of course. I never cuss, but I put up with yours.
I
And
think we need to bring that to the 201st episode.
well, that's one thing I like about our podcast. We had set down ground rules. It was number one, the audio has to be excellent. And I listen to podcasts, and it's amazing how many podcasts are out there where the audio is just garbage. It sounds like they're talking from the other side of the room, or the moderator's voice is really loud, and the person they're interviewing sounds like they're in a tin can.
Yeah.
The other thing was it has to be there's no cussing and no inappropriate topics. It's just going to be fun, mindless banter.
Sometimes the cussing and innuendos can be fun though. Maybe we need a Woodhounds after hours.
Yeah, people would be shocked, I am sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't think people are ready for. It
yeah.
is a
No,
challenge for me to sometimes hold back because
I was joking. You're not a cusser.
oh my
But
goodness.
and then here's the other thing too, Dan. I've known you now I've been on YouTube for like 5+ years. I've known you for roughly the same amount of time. have we ever had a discussion of politics? I don't know what your politics are, and I literally don't care.
Yeah,
And
no.
I think you would say the same thing about me, obviously, because it's just not our thing.
Yep, I don't dabble into that area at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the one good thing that I can say is that I do not even go there with anything.
Hmm. Yeah. All right, Dan. Well, what do you say if we really focus and commit ourselves that we can come up with episode 201 in about a week?
Let's see what we can do. Let's not make any promises, but
Yeah. Okay. We'll
we'll
do
we'll
our
see what
best.
we can do.
Yeah. All right. Well, Dan, what do you say? Maybe we, I don't know, from one professional firewood delivery service to a hobbyist,
Oh, and there's the jingle.
that we all say in unison, strike up the band.
Strike up the band. Yes, indeed. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the 200th episode of the Wood Hounds Podcast.
Yeah, and thank you for making all 200 episodes awesome. We wouldn't be able to do it without you, our dedicated listeners, those with very low standards who don't hold us accountable for a substandard production. Yes, we need more of you in our lives. All right, Dan. Well, let's tell everyone out there, thank you for listening to
the Wood Hounds Podcast
for our
200th episode,
which contains no
swearing,
no
politics.
And while you're doing all of this, please have
a great day, you big